280, 200, 230, 240, 283.2.
Just when everyone thought Parker Schnabel was going to sink all his money in Dominion Creek, he discovered something that changed the whole game. Hidden behind the bushes in a desolate forest was an old, rusty trommel. Not just any old machine, it was a treasure from another era. As soon as Parker's team opened the trommel, gold was found inside. Yes, real, glittering gold. And that too in such quantity that everyone's eyes were wide open. It seemed as if someone had deliberately hidden it there. But who? And why? Now think, if that trommel was really filled with gold worth $15 million, then this could not just be a discovery, but the most dangerous move in the history of the Klondike. There is something that is being hidden from the world. Is this an old treasure? Or a secret stash of a gold mafia? Parker himself is in shock. But what has been recorded in the camera, after watching that, you will get goosebumps. And believe me, this is the most crazy twist of Gold Rush. So brother, watch the video till the end. And if you are interested in suspense and real gold hunting, then subscribe to the channel, because the real game has just begun. Dominion Creek, a name that makes old miners shake their heads. There used to be something big here, but now this area was deserted. There were no machines, no crews, just mud, jungle, and old memories. But the decision that Parker Schnabel took about this place surprised everyone. He invested crores of rupees, without any guarantee, without any proof that something would actually be found here. There were just some old maps, some understanding of geography, and some vague reports. Gold had been found here in the olden days, but no one was sure how true those stories were. Parker believed these stories and jumped into the field. Other people were calling this decision madness. They said Parker will waste the rest of his earnings too. Someone was even saying that now Parker's time is over. And to be honest, their words did not seem wrong. Because the land of Dominion Creek was difficult, swampy, slippery, and technically challenging. But Parker said, the bigger the risk, the bigger the reward. He was confident of his decision. He looked at every inch himself, checked every sample himself. He made a whole new plan by combining GPS, drone mapping, and old mine reports. For him, this was not a fluke. It was a strategy, a gamble that would either make him the king of gold or bring him down to earth. And now that the trommel has been found, and it is full of gold, the same people who laughed are now silent. This gamble of Parker Schnabel can now become history. Parker Schnabel and his team were surveying the rough and uneven land of Dominion Creek just like any other day. There were only bushes, mud, and old broken logs all around. The weather was cold and the air was moist, but the team was not lacking in enthusiasm. Then one crew member noticed something strange in the distance. Something like a big metal object was hiding behind the bushes. At first it seemed like some junk, maybe an old fuel tank or an abandoned trailer. But when everyone looked closer, everyone was left breathless for a moment. A huge, rusted trommel machine was standing in front of them. A trommel that had probably been abandoned here decades ago. The condition of the machine was bad, but its structure clearly showed that it had been used very professionally at some point. Parker immediately said, "Wait, it cannot have been left like this. There is something in it." His words reflected complete confidence, not doubt. The team cleared away bushes, mud, and moss, and as the true condition of the trommel became apparent, everyone's suspicions grew. The inside of the machine still had the mats that are typically used to catch gold. Parker himself peered inside with a flashlight, and what he saw left everyone stunned. Gold dust and some small nuggets were stuck inside the trommel, in the corners and folds of the mats. The machine was old, but its work was not incomplete. It looked as if it had been abandoned by someone suddenly absent, perhaps in a hurry, or perhaps for some other reason that remains a mystery to this day. This discovery changed the entire mission of Parker's team. This was no longer just a Dominion Creek project. It had become a front to uncover the layers of history. Parker was now convinced that he was very close to something big, and this trommel might be the first glimpse of that hidden treasure. When Parker Schnabel and his team had completely cleaned the trommel, the real game began. On the surface, the machine looked like just an old crumbling piece of wood, but Parker knew the real story could be hidden inside. He picked up a flashlight himself and peered inside the trommel. Parker remained silent for a few seconds as he saw the sight there. His eyes were fixed directly on the one spot from which a faint golden glow was emanating. Then he softly said, "Oh my God, this is gold." The rest of the team also ran in. Everyone took turns looking inside. Gold dust was accumulated on the mesh, mats, and edges inside the trommel. Some small nuggets were also stuck, as if the machine had been left unfinished. It seemed as if the machine was suddenly turned off during processing, and no one touched it again after that. A mixed feeling of surprise, excitement, and suspicion was clearly visible on Parker's face. Standing there, he said, "Nobody can leave this machine like this. Such quality gold is being found inside. It means either something went wrong or something was hidden." Now questions began to arise. Was this really a part of some old treasure? Was a large amount of gold ever extracted from this machine and some of it was left here? Or was this whole place a part of some secret mining operation which was kept hidden from the world? The team examined every corner of the trommel, and the deeper they went, the more clearly the effect of gold was visible. Somewhere there was dust in a thin layer, and somewhere there were nuggets stuck in the mats. Parker now understood that this was not some small junk, but something very old but extremely valuable. His thinking had now completely changed. This was not just a machine, it was a door towards a mystery which might change the entire story of Dominion Creek. Parker has now become more serious about the fact that there is something beneath the ground that has been hidden for decades, and now it is time to expose it. After finding the trommel, the entire focus of Parker's team was now fixed on just one question: where did this machine come from? When Parker himself started digging into the mining history of this area, the surprising thing was that there was no mention of this trommel in any old records. Neither was its name in the government files, nor in the local mining reports, nor did any old miner in the vicinity ever tell anything about it. That is, this machine suddenly appeared from somewhere, as if someone had deliberately hidden it here. Some people believed that perhaps this is an abandoned mill of some old gold team, which for some reason suddenly stopped work and left from here. But the question is that if that team had left it like this, then why did they not take out the gold inside? Why was the machine completely locked and hidden behind so many trees? And the biggest thing, why were no tire marks, drive trails, or support sheds found around it? Everything seemed to have been erased as planned. Parker put forward a theory. Could this trommel be the private mill of an old prospector who was operating illegally? Maybe he had set up his own mine and then had to flee for some reason, perhaps from the government, the mafia, or after a major accident. Parker said there were many claims in the old parts of Dominion Creek that were never registered and many discoveries that were deliberately covered up. Another puzzling fact was that there was no concrete evidence of any human activity around the trommel, as if someone had brought it in and left it quietly and never returned. No tools, no fuel tank, no sleeping bag. Just a machine filled with gold inside. Now Parker's team was completely confused. They had an unsolved mystery with no documents or eyewitnesses to solve. But one thing was certain. The trommel was not just an old machine. It was a clue, evidence of the presence of a great treasure. And now Parker's next step was to determine how deep he would follow this trail. When Parker Schnabel and his team saw gold particles, dust, and nuggets inside the trommel, the first question that arose was, how much is this worth? The team began professional scaling and sample testing. Each mat was carefully removed, dust was collected from every corner, and each piece was weighed and measured. According to reports, the initial estimate of the gold found was between $10.00 and $12 million. And this was just the part that was easily extracted. Parker himself was surprised. He said, "I have seen a lot over the years, but this is the craziest discovery of my life." But the story does not end here. The gold found inside the Trommel was just a part. The team suspects that the Trommel was abandoned, meaning that a large amount of gold must have been extracted before. If the previous operator had extracted the earlier gold and this was left, then imagine what the potential value of the entire mining site could be. Parker's team believes that gold worth at least $15 million, 0 cents or more, may still be hidden in this entire zone. That's what makes this discovery so dangerous. For Parker, this could be his biggest comeback ever, a gamble that turned into a jackpot. But as other teams and local operators get wind of this, things get heated. Everyone in the Klondike is eyeing this land, and Parker will have to be careful with every step he takes. The Trommel is no longer just a machine, it's a trigger, the beginning of a war that will go to any lengths for the sake of gold. When Parker Schnabel's team found gold inside the Trommel and the news of its value slowly started to spread, a different kind of anxiety spread in the air of the Klondike. As fast as this news spread, Parker's rivals also got the inkling that something big has been found. At first, no one believed it, but when some pictures and footage started leaking on social media, everyone's eyes opened. Parker's discovery was no longer just his team's. Now it had become the hottest topic of discussion in the entire Klondike. Other mining teams in the vicinity, including some of his old competitors, slowly started moving to the same area. Some even started trying to buy land very close to Parker's site so that they could dig in the same zone. The situation has become such that a new gold rush has started in the Klondike, and the reason for this is only that one old Trommel. Now, the situation is not easy for Parker. On one hand, his team has to excavate the entire area. On the other hand, they also have to ensure that no one else takes possession of their discovery. There are also rumors that some teams are trying to access the data and maps of Parker's site. Even some suspicious people were seen around the site, which the team has recorded on camera. Parker has clearly told his crew, "Now we do not just have to excavate, we also have to protect our discovery." He has tightened the security at the site. Surveillance has been started with drones and access has been completely limited. Parker knows that at this time, everyone's eyes are on him in Klondike. And now even a single mistake can prove to be very costly. Now this is not just a treasure hunt, it has become a war. Parker Schnabel and his team have joined a race where everyone wants to become the king of gold, but the one who turns out to be fast, alert, and clever will win. As Parker Schnabel and his team found gold inside the Trommel, and its true value began to unfold, one question kept revolving in Parker's mind. Was all this just a coincidence? Or was this a planned conspiracy? Because think about it, in an area of Dominion Creek where no one had worked for years, such a powerful machine is found, and it is also full of gold. That too, at a time when Parker starts digging there with great risk. There was something strange. Parker told the team, "This Trommel did not lie here just like that. Someone has hidden it here, and there is a big secret attached to it." Gradually, the team also found some more such signs in that area which were forcing them to think. Some old wooden beams under the ground, sunken, tunnel-like structures and secret paths not recorded in the maps, as if some secret mining operation had been going on here earlier. These paths were neither straight nor open, but were very cleverly hidden. Some of Parker's team members even thought that this could be an old bunker system, from where people had been secretly extracting gold. Now another theory started coming up. Was all this the work of the mining mafia? It has been revealed many times in the Klondike that some powerful people who work off the record have built their own secret mining lines, and as soon as the situation worsens or they feel threatened, they leave everything and run away, leaving behind machines, treasure, and even evidence. Some stories have been going around among the local people for years that in the old days some black miners used to work in Dominion Creek, whose names were not in any register but whose pockets were always heavy. Are the same people behind this Trommel? Now Parker has two choices. Either he takes this as just a deal and moves on, or he takes this Trommel as a clue and gets to the bottom of the entire conspiracy that has been buried in the Klondike soil for years. When Parker Schnabel found this old Trommel, he immediately decided that it was beyond judgment by just looking at it from the outside. He wanted the real answer: how old the machine was, what modifications had been made to it, and whether it was really used just for gold processing or whether there was some other secret hidden behind it. So Parker called in a team of professional engineers and mining machinery experts, who started a complete technical investigation of the Trommel. As soon as the machine was opened, everyone was shocked to see the internal parts. Although it may have looked like a 1970S machine from the outside, some of its components inside were completely modified. That is, someone had made changes to it over time. The wiring of the motor, the belt setup, and the input-output system. Everything was customized in such a way that it was redesigned for a specific purpose. An engineer said, "This machine was not just made for processing, there was an attempt to hide something inside it." When they cleaned the cylinder unit of the machine and scanned it, some strange patterns were revealed, like someone had made a chamber in one part of the machine, a small hollow part which was not visible from outside, but was empty from inside. It looked as if something had been placed there and then taken out. The team's suspicion deepened further. Apart from this, a faded serial plate was found on the body of the machine, which was half erased. The year written in it was not completely clear, but it was estimated that this Trommel is at least 40-50 years old. That is, this machine is probably from the 1970S or 80S, but it has been used in recent years as well, as some parts were upgraded with completely new technology. Parker was now completely convinced that this machine was not an ordinary junk. It was a custom-built gold processor, which someone designed very thoughtfully, perhaps to hide or extract gold secretly. The engineer's report made it clear to Parker that the story behind the Trommel was much deeper than it appears on the surface. As soon as the first pictures and footage of Parker Schnabel's Trommel discovery leaked to social media, it was like a tsunami hit the internet. Within hours, Parker's name started trending on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. The only thing being discussed everywhere was, has Parker really found gold worth $15 million 0 cents? People went crazy after seeing the glowing soil inside the Trommel and Parker's shocked face in the video. Someone wrote, "This is the biggest gold find of the century," while someone was saying, "This man is a gold magician." But as fast as it went viral, the rumor market also heated up. Some people started saying that perhaps this land was not registered in the government records, and now the government itself can intervene in it. Various theories started doing the rounds in Reddit and Facebook groups, that maybe Parker will have to stop this digging, or the government can take control of this entire area. Someone claimed that the area actually falls within a forest protection zone, where mining was not allowed. Media channels were also not far behind. Some local news stations even sent helicopters over Parker's site to get footage from above. Demand for interviews started increasing. Old clips of Parker also started going viral again, and people now started calling him not just a gold miner, but the Christopher Columbus of the Klondike. Now the matter had become even more complicated for Parker. On one hand, he was digging. On the other hand, the crowd of people keeping an eye on him was increasing. He was afraid that some officer might come and serve him a legal notice, or some other team might challenge his claim. Meanwhile, Parker kept a distance from the media, but sources close to him said that he is in no mood to stop digging under any circumstances. He knows that this is the biggest opportunity of his life, and whether it is rumors or government interference, Parker Schnabel is not one to back down. After such a big discovery, all eyes were on Parker Schnabel. Media, mining experts, fans, and his own competitors, everyone wanted to know what he would say next. Parker maintained silence for several days, but when he made his first statement in front of the camera, there was a different gleam in his eyes, along with exhaustion. He said, "I have dug a lot in my life, but this is something else. It's not just gold, it's something deeper, something hidden, and I'm not going to stop until it is fully exposed." Parker's statement was not just about a gold find, but the beginning of a mission. He made it clear that the excavation at Dominion Creek was not going to end here. The team is now mapping the surrounding area with trommels, finding entry points to old tunnels, and upgrading machinery so that digging can be done to greater depths. Parker has named one particular section Zone X, the area where he suspects something bigger than the trommel might be hiding. His team is now working in shifts, around the clock, digging, testing samples, and 3D scanning the ground below. Parker is personally involved in every decision, checking every report. For him, this is no longer just about making money, it's a personal mission. He wants to show the world what a real gold hunt is all about. The question now is, what's next? Was what Parker found a fluke, or is this the beginning of a much bigger treasure? Some samples contain minerals that are usually found in deep old mining sites, meaning the area has already been mined and at a large scale. Parker's team has also found strange rocks and metal fragments in some places, which no one has yet properly identified. Some experts even say that there may be a secret network beneath Dominion Creek of tunnels, bunkers, and old shelters. And if this turns out to be true, then this will not be just a matter of gold. It could become the biggest underground discovery in history. Parker's next move can now affect the entire Klondike. If he turns out to be right, not only will his fortunes change, but the entire mining industry of the Klondike will be shaken. And if he makes a mistake, then there could be losses worth crores and years of hard work going waste. But one thing is clear, Parker Schnabel has now completely committed himself to this mission, and he has clearly told his staff, now there is no option of turning back. Until the final truth comes out, we will not stop digging. So now everyone's eyes are on Dominion Creek. Will the next revelation be bigger? Is Parker really going to make history? Or will all this lead to a mystery whose depth will force anyone to think? So friends, whatever you just saw was probably the biggest turning point in Parker Schnabel's life. But if you are thinking that this is his biggest victory, then wait, because the real game has just begun. What is hidden under this land of Dominion Creek is not just gold, it is a mystery, a truth that has been buried in the soil for decades and is now slowly coming out. The trommel that Parker has discovered is just a clue. The real story is yet to come. Will Parker find more tunnels in the coming weeks? Will he reach Zone X? Is there really a secret bunker there? Or a treasure whose name has not been recorded in any record till date? Parker is not the only one looking for the answers to these questions. Now the whole world is keeping an eye on his every excavation. And if you also want to be a part of this adventure, then subscribe to the channel now. Because in the next update, it is possible that Parker finds something that will be written in the history books. Like, share the video, and don't forget to press the bell so you never miss the next big news.